we are. It's time for Tech Ambassadors. Welcome, everyone. I'm Jordan Jankus, and I'm with the ARC Westchester in beautiful Westchester County, New York. I work here supporting people with technology, helping encourage advocacy and quality services at our agency. I hope you're all doing well and enduring the COVID-19 crisis. I'm doing this session from my home. I'm glad I don't have my webcam on because I don't look too good at the moment, but I'm feeling fine. At the agency, we're trying to develop ways at the moment to replace some of our traditional services with remote online resources for the duration of these strange days. And I'm sure I'm not alone in trying to scramble and come up with new ways to serve people in all our agencies and for families with all their children at home. So, what is Tech Ambassadors? For any of you that are new, we try and share tech resources that can help people with cognitive disabilities in their daily lives. Very practical ideas. Here's a link on this slide to our webpage where you can find archives of our past webinars. We're always interested to learn what you're doing out there with technology, and I'd love to hear from you. You know, we can all learn from each other. Nobody has a monopoly on this. We're all in a very experimental field in our human services activities. We're trying to use personal tech to help the people each day live, work, learn. So send me an email, say hello. I wouldn't mind it. We're sorry to have to tell you that our tech conference at Mercy College on May 18th has been canceled. I'm sure none of you are surprised by this. It seemed like the prudent thing to do in view of the present health crisis. All registrations will be refunded, but that's the bad news. The good news is that we hope to replace it with a virtual conference sometime in September of this year. So we'll have breakout sessions online and lots of the content without any risk of your health. Stay tuned. We'll have more information on that in the coming days. Now, on to today's topic. Focus, being present and staying on task. How personal technology can help. Life has so many distractions, especially now, and we can sometimes find ourselves overwhelmed and distracted. Here are a few tools that can give us more direction. These are in addition to the native apps that come with your tablet and smartphone, like Notes, Calendar, and Reminders. And there's equivalent apps on the Android platform that come with the device. We don't intend to make this a comprehensive list. I don't think anybody can do that. There are just millions and millions of apps out there. But at least it should give you some ideas on exploring other tools to help yourselves and the people that you serve and to help us all stay in the moment. So the first app that we're going to talk about is Time Timer. It provides a visual cue for the time of a task with a red circle disappearing as time slips away. So it starts out as a full red circle and you set it for the time that you need, and then tick, 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 it goes away. And you can have multiple circles ticking away, so you can have various tasks throughout the day. On one of the, I see on the screen, the one of that is piano practice. That's always a hard one for people to continue with. Homework, whatever, exercising. But it's a visual thing. So you see things ticking down, and it kind of gives you a very good indication of how much more time you expect to devote to an activity. It's available for all iOS devices at an affordable, and I say very affordable, $2.99. I'm old enough to remember the early days of technology when computer programs on those big clunky IBMs and Macs used to cost you, $50 or $100, and the prices that are in the App Store many of which apps are free. But if you see a paid one, $2.99, that's not much money for all the work the developers put into making these fine products. So let's look at another one. Here's an app from Good Karma Applications, and they've developed some great apps like First Then Visual Schedule. But here's another one that they have. It costs $14.99. One of the higher amounts, I'd say, for apps. The most are on communication apps, but $14.99 is an unusually high amount. The trade-off is that it provides a very rich schedule that has many features, including multiple views, daily, weekly, monthly, and the images and sounds can be customized. A totally visual schedule, and the schedule is in an age-appropriate fashion. It's not babyish. You can use any images that will help the person. You see a lot of products out there that are, catering to younger markets, but this one you could use throughout a person's lifetime. Video modeling clips can also be added to the scheduled events. So, for example, it could show you that it's time to brush your teeth, and that could be linked to a video that shows proper toothbrushing techniques. Really an amazing app. The First Then Visual Schedule that I mentioned, another one of their apps, is more confined to like one day's schedule, but it goes. It's another great app that goes from the beginning of the morning to the end of a particular series of tasks. You can use pictures on it. So I get up in the morning, brush my teeth, have breakfast, take a shower, put on pants, put on my socks, and you can click off each of these things as you complete the task. Really, really great. So I'd suggest that you go to their website. They have a lot of great products, Good Karma Applications. ChoiceWorks is a good app for young people, and it uses simpler imagery than the prior app to help individuals complete daily routines, morning, day, and night. In addition, it helps with emotional regulation and focus. Here's an example of ChoiceWorks feature on reading the feelings of those around you. So it'll show you a picture and you decide it'll show you this is a face your dad makes when he's worried. This is a face when your dad makes when he's happy. And say, like on the worried one, what do you think could help him get out of that funk that he's worried? Could you talk with him? Or could you maybe go out on a walk with him? Something to distract you. And so many of our folks, number one, have problems understanding, especially if they're on the spectrum, understanding people's emotions. This can be a great thing. It'll help them really react in a more appropriate way. It uses really simple images that you can customize with your own photography. And it really, really is a neat application. The only caveat I have about this is that some of the stock images that it comes with are very focused towards the younger audience, the school age audience. It's $9.99 in the app stores, another very good value. Now, we're going into some of the more complicated apps. It's an iOS app that requires more literacy on the part of the user, but it's very powerful, allowing you to schedule tasks, add notes, work on projects, and much more. It's a winner of one of Apple's design awards. It's $9.99. While Things 3 is comprehensive, Minimalist is very good, but it has a more intuitive interface that helps you stay on track. It is very easy to set up, and you can do interesting things without all the fancy bells and whistles on some of the other apps. What is even better for your wallet is that it can stay closed and it's free. This is a free app in its basic iteration. It does all the things listed on this slide. You can set a time for how long you want to be doing each task. You can create and receive reminders about upcoming tasks. write simple notes to add onto each task, gives you a variety of sounds for each task, and you can use it to connect with Siri and tell Siri, put this in my minimal list and remind me at 9:30 that I'm supposed to be doing this thing. So that's pretty cool that it has Siri integration. If you think about this, during the course of a day, say if like somebody is at work and they say, they're doing a good job and all that, but I wonder how much money I made this week. They can just type out a little note or use Siri to give themselves a little note and say, check with boss about my hours this week. That kind of self empowerment is really, really important for the people we serve. And I tell you, these days, working especially with the younger folks coming into our program, transitioning from high school, everybody's coming in with some kind of device. So if you can show them this, ask them to load it on their device, it has a lot more practicality, perhaps not as much fun, but it's much more practical than Facebook or texting or any of those other things like Fortnite. And here's another app, Grateful, and we're featuring this for the principle that when you lose focus, the world can seem just so incredibly overwhelming. One day slides into the next. Next thing you know, life is too much for you. Nothing good is happening. I can't imagine anything good has happened in my life. Oh, woe is me. So, this is a mini journal that asks you to stop and think about what's good in your life. What's happening that's good today? It gives you prompts saying, did you have something good happen to you? Did you meet somebody new? And you could also take a picture of that good thing. So maybe you did volunteer work at the local food bank. Take a picture of it. This was a great thing. I helped the community today. You come home, you look at it, and you say, this day wasn't as bad as I thought. The free version limits you to 15 entries, and for $4.99, you can upgrade to unlimited entries. The developer of the Grateful app, Tree Betty, has other interesting apps that you can explore. Done, a simple habit tracker. Moody is a mood tracker. Something like a mood tracker is really important for people that have, various things that they go through during the month, highs and lows. If they can kind of see where they're at and track it throughout the month, it not only helps them, it helps the people, therapists that may be supporting them, just to kind of get an idea of what is a good time of month, what things are escalating, what things are helping you feel better. So, really interesting stuff. I want to see if I can reach out to the developer and ask them to join us for a future session, future webinar, because there's a lot to discover here. A lot of simple things that can really help us maintain focus. And then there's a very, very basic thing that we can all do with or without technology. We can pause, think, and focus. It's a great skill to share with all the people we support. Personally, I know I've opened a cabinet door in my kitchen or turned to an app on my iPhone, and I don't know why. I'm just standing there. Why am I standing here in front of this open door? What was I going to do with this app? So you just have to take a breath and say, well, let me just focus on the moment. Instead of just doing things in an automatic way, let me just think, pause, and focus. I know there's folks out there that might have commuted from their job at work, and all of a sudden you're in the driveway in your car and you wonder, how did I get here? Because you've been so distracted thinking of other things. And it's just amazing. We're on automatic pilot for so much of our day. But a lot of those moments, if we just take a moment and say, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? What are we hoping to accomplish today? Who are we hoping to influence? What good can I bring to this world? I think it would help us all tremendously. So you can do this with any of the apps that we're featuring here, or you just pause, think, and focus on your own. You want to be in the moment, but that's not too easy. And sometimes you can daydream, and that can be a lot of fun. But you also realize that the moments can slip by unless we pause and focus. In this day and age, many of us are working from home. And the worst thing I think you can do is start watching TV or listening to the radio, and you listen to all the terrible news and the data coming by on COVID 19, and you say, I just got to turn this off and get back to what I'm doing, what I'm good at, because eventually this will all end and we'll be able to get on with our lives. So you have to have that self control, not to wallow in very scary times, but to try and keep your focus on your end goals. And I know for many of the people that we serve in their houses, they're getting very frustrated right now because they're used to a certain automatic routine where they go to work or they go to day program, but they're not used to being in a residence or with their parents for hours on end. My daughter lives in a group home in Yonkers, and she really, thank God for FaceTime, but she really doesn't have a clear idea of what is happening in the world. I've tried to explain it to her, but it's very hard. It's important to be able to focus on a routine, know what's happening next, and to make the world a little bit more predictable. Right now, we're in very unpredictable times, unfortunately. Let's hope this ends shortly. So I never extend the Tech Ambassadors sessions just to hear myself talk. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to get information out to you and also be respectful of your time and your other priorities. So that's it for today. I hope you found some of these things helpful. If you have any questions on any of the particular apps that we talked about, or you want to tell me about what you're doing with technology that has made a difference in the lives of people with cognitive disabilities, I would love to hear from you. My email is jjankus@arkwestchester.org. Give me a phone call. That's my office number, but if anybody wants to reach me on my cell, I'll do a crazy thing. I'll give you my cell number, 914-462-2493, because God knows when I'll be back in the office, and I'd love to connect with you and find out what you're doing in tech that has made a difference in somebody's life. That would be a great story to hear. We're going to do another webinar on April the 15th, Wednesday, April the 15th. You don't have to worry about doing taxes. That's been deferred to July. So come and listen to our webinar. I have a consultant from Tobii Dynavox that will be joining us, Ashley DiPiano, and we're going to be talking about lots of things, the product, the hardware, the software, but also what do we do with AAC devices? Do we plan for their use beyond the high school years? Do we make an effective transition program to the adult world? How do we train paraprofessionals in school and also direct care professionals in our adult programs on how to support the use of a communication device? Or does the AAC device sit in some closet never to be used again, which is the equivalent of taking a piece of scotch tape and putting it on somebody's mouth? So how do we make sure that everybody communicates and communicates in a clear fashion, especially if they go into the community and want to be on their own and not rely upon other people to let the world know who they are or what they want? So I'm really looking forward to Ashley's presentation, and I hope you'll join us for that. And I wish you all well. I hope everybody stays healthy, and I hope you realize that there's a real need to reach out to the people in all the residences and programs that you might be involved with. So, Zoom, GoToMeeting, FaceTime, Skype, use them all. People are just waiting. All best wishes. Talk to you soon.